and it is cover up from people around town and the sheriff's department at that time for reasons that they were close together or the sheriff had mob ties or were getting paid off supposedly. Don't know.
Mob ties up in the mountains of California. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean Reno is not that
far,
far from the place. Yeah, so maybe, but it's highly doubt it. But it could. It could.
So you think it's possible that the sheriff is just covering up for his friend?
It could be. I mean, there's some shit that has gone under his fingers. It's like the actual the day they discover the bodies. How come they didn't shut the roads down leading into Keddie and leading out of Keddie, and especially that area of the cabin area? No, everyone that's in that cabin, no, you're not leaving. Marty gets out and goes to fucking Reno. It's just literally after the police show up at cabin 28. Marty's gone, Bo's gone. There's and even like, oh, anyone's missing from the cabin, I'm putting out all bulletin search for them. Any cop in the state, upstate or Oregon or Washington or Nevada or Utah, you see this car, you pulling it over. Bring them back to Keddie.
Not only that, but like in a town that small, if you see anyone just like get up and leave a day after the murders, they're fucking suspects.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are the type of towns where people are born and they're raised and they don't leave.
Yeah. And like the roads leading in and out of town, they were open. People were leaving the town, leaving the area. The fact that when Marty says, hey, I can't find my hammer, and you got 3 victims sitting up there that you know of that have wounds consistent with hammer hits, and you got this one dude whose kid is in the house that they find alive saying, I can't find my hammer.
Why would he just outright claim that? I can't find my hammer.
They asked him. They asked everyone, hey, do you have tools? Do you have a hammer? Where's your hammer?
My man said, I can't find my hammer.
Can't find my hammer. And the sheriff just goes, okay, all right. That is suspect than a motherfucker.
Super suspect. Why would I can't find my hammer?
I can't find my hammer.
Okay. He's starting to look worse and worse.
You have a phone call 3 years later. You find the remains of Tina. You announce you found human remains. We need to investigate who these human remains are. You get a phone call stating that, the remains are Tina Sharp's. Click. No one says a fucking thing. No one traces the phone call. No one says anything. You find the only reason people know about it today because you find it at the bottom of an evidence box. Damn near 35
Who made
years
that phone
later.
call?
No one knows. They're still comparing the voice on the call to see who made that phone call.
Okay, let's keep going. It looks like there's some evidence here of that hammer.
Yeah, supposedly they found a hammer in 2016. A hammer matching the description of the hammer Mike claimed to have lost was discovered in a local pond and taken into evidence by Puma County Special Investigator Mark Gamberg, who is now in charge of the case. Puma County Sheriff Hagwood, who's now the new sheriff, who was 16 years old at the time of the murder and knew the Sharp family personally, stated that the location it was found, it must have been intentionally put there. It wouldn't have been accidentally misplaced. Gamberg also stated at the time 6 potential suspects were being examined. Now, mind you, John Bodice is dead, died in 1988, and Marty Smart had died of cancer in Portland, Oregon in 2000. But still, they're still trying to investigate this murder because there's possibly suspects that are alive and still in the Keddie area that might have been involved in this case. A 2016 article published by the Sacramento Bee detailing the discovery of the hammer shortly after the murders. Shortly after the murders, Martin had left Keddie and driven to Reno, Nevada from there. He sent a letter to Marilyn rummaging on the personal struggles of their marriage and concluded with, "I paid the price for your love and now I've bought it with 4 people's lives." Guess what? They literally found that letter years later. Marilyn doesn't remember it being written, but literally this letter was written and it slipped through the fucking the investigator's fingers. It was found in the bottom of a fucking box.
Saying that the letter was overlooked in the initial investigation, never admitted as evidence.
Exactly. Never admitted as evidence.
That's sealed. Okay. He killed him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it gets even better. Supposedly, Marty had confessed to the crimes to a psychiatrist in Reno. He confessed to a psychiatrist in Reno. A counselor who Murray regular visit would also allege that he admitted to the murders of Sue and Tina, but claimed, "I didn't have anything to do with the boys." He allegedly told the counselor that Tina was killed to prevent her from identifying him, as she had witnessed the whole thing. The counselor later called the police. They didn't even bother to take a statement from him. They didn't bother. They just typed it away on a couple of pieces of paper, put it at the bottom of the box.
That's insane. My man not only wrote his confession, but he confessed to his therapist, counselor, whatever you want to call him.
And the counselor reported it, but nothing was done. No follow-ups. No nothing.
What? Okay, so the evidence of him admitting to the counselor and the counselor raising concern over it were only founded in 2016, 16 years after this man died.
Yep.
Damn. I mean, that can't be a part of the cover-up. That's just bad policing. That's just somebody not asking the right questions or putting the pieces together.
Some call it bad policing, others call it incompetence. Some call it a cover-up. I don't know. That's pretty big.
Okay, so the council reported this shit. Who did she report? Who did they report it to? Where did that news? Whose desk did that end up on?
Whoever the Reno County, I think whoever I think that county, the county that Keddie is a part of, the Puma County Police Department. Because I think if he reported it to the county that Reno was in, they would have there have been a little bit more push on that. But I think it was the Puma County Sheriff's Department. He found out where Martin used to live. He found out where these murders took place. We probably already heard about it. And he reported it.
Okay. How is this an open investigation still?
Because shit, you got no physical evidence of really Martin and Bo if there was the murders or anyone else if it was involved. Like that Tony guy that says he was chopping wood with fucking Sue and their kids the day before, and they had no fire fire pit in their home. And shit, you got a police department at that time, a county police department is either incompetent or is covering up. Very dirty.
Yeah, I agree with you that there was a cover up with the local sheriff and Marty being friends with him. But the rest of it is just pure incompetence.
I think it was covering up. I think it's a cover up. I don't think it's a competence. I think they knew exactly who was the person that did it. They found out very quickly, and the sheriff was probably friends with them or somewhat. And
no, I
they
agree with
covered
you
it up
there. I agree with you about the initial cover up. I'm talking about 10, 20 years after the fact. This guy confesses to it. It gets reported and nothing is done about it. That's what I think is the incompetent part.
Because this guy, the same guy, no, they discovered that this, they discovered he made this initial confession years before. Like, and at the time, Sheriff Thomas was still in charge. When they found this was a new group of investigators. Because they had before they got involved in the case, they had no idea what anything was anything. All they knew is we have an unsolved murder. You had some investigators that knew the family. They didn't know much of the facts, so they started investigating, get most of the facts, and they start finding this new information.
Let's see. Okay.
So this is a new group of investigators. Also, supposedly, their son Greg, who ended up surviving that night, told either a magazine or a newspaper that he and Justin had witnessed the murders. All right, this is a report from the Crime League report. The final has all of DT. I'm not sure who DT is. I'm getting this from the Keddie Cabin murder forums. So the final has DT. So I'm not sure what DT is. Has to say about the 17th. Doug was one of the guys who made one report for all this time investigating the murders and his entire entity for the 6th day of the investigation in one event. Recorded all on page 16. I think they're talking about the initial police report investigation about the murders. About 3 kids racing across the Old Keddie Bridge at 8 a.m. Sunday, April the 12th. Down the road, they're racing back over the bridge to the highway shortly after. He had never seen them before, but thought they might be friends of the Walkies. Big day in this report initially for leaving out so many interviews, including his interview with Greg, in which Greg admitted to waking up during the murder, seeing Justin, Sue, Dana, and 3 men. He's saying that, okay, the police, I got it. The police report is supposedly one of the investigators had talked to Greg, and Greg admitted to waking up in the middle of the night during the murders and seeing Justin, Sue, Dana, and 3 men, not 2, 3 men in the house. Now, the investigators state that it was 2 men to be able to do all these murders. At least 2 men to be able to do these murders. Now, Greg supposedly, in a police report stating that there were 3 men. But this can't be substantiated.
But at least 2.
Yeah, but at least there was 2.
Then it sounds like it's Marty's buddy, Joseph, whatever the hell his name was. Bo, yeah.
It was Bo, yeah, and Marty, and supposedly another person, according to Greg, in this.
I mean, if it's still being investigated, it should be coming to a resolution soon. If there's still someone